I think we're in a great spot.
I want some rest.
Are we having fun yet?
First and foremost, before we get started, I am so sorry about the fan. It's so hot in here. I just had to turn it on. So I know the mic is kind of picking it up, but I'm sorry nonetheless. But we got to talk about this because I've been seeing so many people doom and gloom about the San Antonio Spurs and the moves that they've made recently. So as you already know, obviously we talked about it. Okay, DeJounte Murray is gone. Okay, I even did a song about it. DeJounte Murray is gone, and a lot of Spurs fans are still kind of sour about it. And I sit back and I say, you're not really looking at the big picture here. I think the Spurs couldn't be in a better spot than they are right now, and I'm going to try my best to explain that. But first and foremost, for DeJounte Murray, a 29th overall pick, I'm going to tell you this right now, it is so rare. It is a rarity in today's NBA to get 2 unprotected draft picks. And not only that, and you add on a pick swap, the Spurs are good over for the next 6 years. This is ultimately ridiculous. This is not normal, and this typically doesn't happen, especially for a player that's not a superstar. Usually you can only get picks that are unprotected, especially multiple unprotected picks, if you have a player that is a superstar. And the Spurs don't necessarily have that. So I think they got a stupid amount of value out of DeJounte Murray. It made sense for both teams, the Atlanta Hawks and the Spurs, but I think it made sense even more for us. So yeah, they just set up their future pretty nice. Now, I will say this, because this is the elephant in the room, right? Obviously, the San Antonio Spurs, you guys were right. They should have tanked a long time ago. I finally came around on that. For a while, I was trying to say or argue like, well, we had a good team and we could have went to the finals, and probably not. Okay, the DeMar DeRozan, the LA experiment, it just didn't work out. And if you looked at the course of their careers, it was pretty obvious that it probably wasn't going to work. So yes, when Kawhi Leonard asked out, the Spurs should have been very proactive at that time and changed the gears up. But it's so hard to do that, especially when you kind of built the team for Kawhi, or you started to build the team for Kawhi, and you won a championship not that long ago. So I do understand where the Spurs are coming from, especially coming off of the Western Conference Finals in 2017. It's really hard to just jump straight into a rebuild. They really had to have their teeth kicked into the dirt for them to kind of come to that conclusion that, yes, we needed to rebuild. So I understand it should have happened a while ago, but all we can control right now is right now. And I think that the Spurs have done a great job of setting up the future. Now, the reason why I think that we're in a really great spot right now is this can go one or two ways, okay? And it's going to sound crazy, but this can go one or two ways. Now, we know that the Spurs are very high on Josh Primo now, okay? I mean, even to the point where they've kind of made hints that, hey, he could possibly play point guard, which we kind of knew that. We saw that they were kind of conditioning him for that in the G League and even with the Spurs later on in the season. But that's besides the point. It can go two ways. Either one, the Spurs can just be complete garbage, which I expect us to be, okay? You can be absolute garbage, okay? And if you're garbage, well, shoot, look at all these draft picks we have. Now, I know that the 2023 isn't unprotected, so our first round draft pick is going to be the best one out of the picks that we have. But anyways, if you tank, dude, you have a really good shot at Victor Wembanyama. And we're going to talk about some of the guys that are, not in this video, but are in like the top 8, because there's some really good players that's going to be in next year's draft as well. So you can straight up tank, just be complete garbage, and you can set yourself up for the future even more in next year's draft. Now that's number one, and I know a lot of people want instant gratification. Now number two, what if, and this is crazy, okay, this is 1 in a million chance, okay, what if the San Antonio Spurs at this point actually do make it into the playoffs? No, obviously that's crazy, okay? They're not going to be, I don't necessarily think they're going to be better than they are right now. But if that happened, okay, let's say the Spurs have set up, they're like, look, we got to rebuild, we don't have the guy. And let's just say Josh Primo has a coming out party, and Devin Vassell, now that he has a different role and he's not just so much of a catch and shoot, that he's able to kind of take over. What if Keldon Johnson makes a step? I don't know. Let's just say everyone takes really big steps and we make it to the playoffs. Well, I'm not going to sit here doom and gloom, because you know what? That just means that we have found our guy. For the Spurs to make it to the playoffs in a stacked Western Conference, with very young players, I think that we're going to be able to make an assumption during the season that we found our guy pretty quickly, okay? And you don't necessarily have to make the playoffs for us to know that, okay? I'm not jumping there. I'm just saying if they were to do that, then I think that we're still set because we're like, oh, no, we're good. We're okay. So that's one thing that I just want to kind of bring up because I know a lot of people are like, oh, dude, we're going to be trash. This is so bad. No, that has positive, that's a positive spin on it. And another thing too, and this is actually what I want to bring up. This is actually my last point. Okay. If the San Antonio Spurs go into the season and they're completely exposed, good. I'm tired of the bandages. The San Antonio Spurs have had players on the team that has really just put a Band-Aid over how bad we really are. It happened with DeMar DeRozan, in which he was saving us like every single game, and we're trying to scrape into the playoffs. And we knew the team wasn't that good. We knew they weren't that good. But we had DeMar DeRozan sitting there trying to save us and helping us. And he would hit big shots at the end of games, and we would just stay mediocre. And that's just kind of what happens when you have a really good player. Same exact thing happened with DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray was a Band-Aid for this team. He's not necessarily a Batman. He's like a second or third option on a good team. And on this team, we had him be the first option. And obviously, it didn't work. We were mediocre. So I'm tired of the bandages, okay? We need a star. We need to find that it factor. And this is the best possible way to do so. So all I'm trying to say, I know I ramble quite a bit, but if you go either way, okay? If you go into the season and you're complete trash, good, fine. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Doesn't necessarily mean none of these guys are, it, but hey, at least we know that we can keep searching. We're going to have some really great picks and we can kind of add on to it. Or if some miracle happens and they are a phenomenal team all of a sudden and they are a borderline playoff team, good. I guess the rebuild has officially begun. So all I'm saying is don't trip. Everything's cool. It's all good. This is the best thing that could possibly happen for this franchise, and I am here for it. I am so excited for this upcoming season. Like, I never even really experienced a rebuild because I was like, I don't know, 2 the last time the Spurs were really, really bad, and I wasn't a Spurs fan at 2 years old. But now it's like, wow, I actually get to witness it, and we're going to see a lot of players grow, and it's going to be fun to watch. Sohan, Malachi, Josh Primo, super high IQ, and then Blake Wesley, I'm assuming he's going to get minutes, and he's stupid athletic. It's just going to be a fun season. I'm rambling because I'm excited. It's just going to be a fun season. But anyways, I'll get with you guys later. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know people are pretty doom and gloom about this whole situation. I don't think it's that big a deal. It's all good. We're good. We're good. Primo's going to be a star. I'm going to keep saying that. All right, until next time, guys, deuces.